Okay, so another episode of Raw completed. This time it was JR Appreciation Night because they were in Oklahoma City. And your social media ambassador was Larry King. And again, continuing the ever-present storyline of CM Punk as a heel. He is a heel. He even denigrated their local sports team, Oklahoma Thunder. He interrupted JR Appreciation Night and threatened to beat the crap out of him. The opening section, of course, with, CM Punk in the ring, Paul Heyman, Heyman trying to make his vie for the becoming GM of Raw. Vicky comes down with Dolph, then you have Vicky, Dolph, Punk, Heyman. Then AJ comes down, then while AJ's down in the ring, then comes down Daniel Bryan, then comes down Kane. So therefore there's your main event match. So let's go to the main event match since it ties in really well. Decent amount of back and forth with Team Hell No and Team We Have Mouthpieces. AJ becomes a special guest referee. Ever she decides that she doesn't want to talk to her executive coach, who doesn't really say anything, and it's kind of a waste of a person on a spot on TV. In fact, a lot of what AJ did this week was kind of bizarre. She talked about how she was really sad and really valued Caitlin's friendship, and then said she was joking, that went nowhere. And then she talked with Wade Barrett briefly. Wade Barrett talking about having a match, and I first thought that he would therefore have a match. And it really kind of went nowhere. I was like, alright, so we've had lots of time with her, and it's really kind of pointless. Except for when she was in the ring making the main event match, and then therefore becoming the guest referee. She tosses out Heyman, tosses out Vicky. While tossing out Vicky, Ziggler leaves too, which therefore leaves CM Punk alone in the ring. Big chokeslam by Kane, 1, 2, 3. Team Hell No is victorious. Overall, that was a pretty solid match. A nice amount of back and forth to it. Ironically, now that Kane has pinned CM Punk, he should technically be the #1 contender. But instead, to prove that CM Punk is a great wrestler, he will have to again face John Cena. This time at Hell in a Cell. Okay, so he beat him at last year's Money in the Bank. He beat him at SummerSlam. He beat him at this year's SummerSlam. He didn't lose the title to him at Night of Champions. He defeated John Cena to cash in his Money in the Bank championship. But to prove that he's good as beat John Cena for a 6th time. At this point in time, turning him heel, CM Punk heel, should have made sense to give him more face challengers. Ironically, the only person he has to take on is John Cena. It's kind of pointless. You might as well turn Cena heel and have him take on face CM Punk. But in the wings, apparently, they're also trying to toss in Ryback. So Ryback, of course, came to the aid of good old JR. My first thought was it would be awesome if JBL came down. So I'm pretty sure promoting JBL, the wrestling god and the best in the world, would be an amazing promo. But Ryback came down and tried to help save JR from CM Punk. Earlier in the night, Ryback took on Tensai in a match that was as good as a match with Tensai Ryback could be. Ryback went for Shell Shock, I think, 3 times, and just could not either get Tensai up in a good enough position. So then he ends it with another one of his big meat hook clotheslines. And JR had to really sell that clothesline to make it seem like it'd be worthy enough to pin Tensai. It was a moment that was just, I couldn't tell if Tensai wasn't helping him, or if it was just, the awkwardness of how Tensai's body and his center of gravity is done, that, just didn't work for Ryback. So, that's where that is. And of course, the biggest show of strength this week, Antonio Cesaro took on Brodus Clay. And he hit the neutralizer. Yes, it's that weird, hold you up, pile driver, forward plant. Overall, it was very impressive to see him do that. And their match was actually kind of dull. I was a huge fan of Claudio Castagnoli. I loved him in Ring of Honor. Antonio Cesaro, I don't know, it's just not clicking. I do like the, I can say a word in 5 languages. That's pretty cool. Appreciation in Swiss, when it was like, Viterio, sounded awesome. I want to hear him say really cool sounding words. But, the Alza rugby player who got kicked out because I was too rough, yeah, that's just really not that believable. He must have been like a Swiss Special Forces, guy. And then he has a bunch of different moves that he uses because he's a walking Swiss Army knife. Either way, it's a horrible thing to do for that guy. He's a really, really solid competitor. Santino Marella took on Heath Slater and Heath Slater's entourage of Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. Let that sink in for a second. So, Santino Marella lost. No, I don't know. No, technically he won via DQ when all 3 of them began to attack him. The team of the one-man band, the Chosen One, and the Maharaja. I'm interested to know, 1, what these guys have in common beyond if they work as a unit, they all get to be on TV. It's a super bizarre group, which made me first think what they should do is Ricardo Rodriguez should either become a face and join Santino Marella and Zack Ryder, or Ricardo should go back to his Chimera persona, his masked wrestler, actually really good, and he should team up with Mysterio and Sin Cara. Let's be honest, if Ricardo were to turn on Del Rio's stock would plummet tremendously. Del Rio had a match against Kofi Kingston. Decent match because, Kofi's a ridiculous workhorse. It seemed that when he was doing his cross arm breaker, the flip to the finish, it seemed like Kofi didn't fully turn with him, so it looked pretty vicious when Kofi took it. But Del Rio got a victory there. The longest match of the night was Sheamus and Sandow. This was a really solid match. That match was better than all of the matches between Sheamus and Del Rio put combined. Sandow and Sheamus put on a really, really solid match, which ended with Sheamus hitting a double brogue kick on Sandow and Cody Rhodes and getting the pinfall. It was a really, really solid match. Mysterio and Sin Cara took on Primo and Epico again, but this time was part of the tag team, tournament. Got the pinfall, decent match, Sin Cara seemed to be going at like half speed, which made the match really bizarre to watch. Because people were having to slow down to take Sin Cara's moves. It's really weird. Beth Phoenix took on Eve, and Beth Phoenix kind of jobbed to Eve. It wasn't, and it seemed like Beth Phoenix was going to be actually having a good match with Eve, and then it just kind of piddled out and went nowhere. Zack Ryder took on The Miz. Good match with The Miz has got a much more aggressive style to him. Miz got the pinfall on him. So all in all, oh, and I forgot, yeah, they had a debate between Big Show and Sheamus. That, had some good moments to it, like when Big Show's podium fell apart. And Big Show, while trying to pull the serious side, was much better at the comedy than Sheamus was, and Sheamus going for a comedic side. But you can kind of tell that when they've got 3 hours to kill, they really do try to stuff a lot in there. Good mic work with Punk in the beginning sequence of him and JR. That was really solid, but man, they are super, super pushing Punk as a heel down our throats. I'm almost waiting for someone to have like a 3-legged puppy and seeing Punk to like kick it on the way to the ring. I'm almost waiting to see something like, John Cena's doing a Make-A-Wish, and then CM Punk, attacks John Cena from behind. That's like, guess what, kids? Your disease is incurable. I'm a heel. Spits in his face and then walks away. It's getting to the point where we're doing something that's really super stupid and drastic. Might as well bring back in Zach Gowen and have CM Punk beat him with his, fake leg. It's getting kind of aggravating. It's like, Yeah, I get he's a heel, we're supposed to boo him, but guess what? He's still really good on the mic, and he's still very entertaining in the ring. He's got the qualities that make people cheer him. And pairing him with Paul Heyman just makes Marks and Smarks like him even more. Yeah, I have indie cred, I'm paired up with Paul Heyman, and you know what? I'm solid in the ring. And I'm great on the mic. It's gonna be kinda hard to boo him. Unless what they're trying to do is they're trying to make Chicago into like the heel city. Which, to be honest, being in Chicago, we like the bad guys. Because normally they're better wrestlers.